funniest comedians out here, but I got to do it to your ass. So I'm looking like an extra in the Shawshank Redemption movie. You got that same hairstyle as dude from Tales from the Hood at the end of the movie. He look like El Chapo's second cousin El Gato like shit. He look like Claude and Ray from Life like shit. Always Sherman Hemsley looking.
We are live. It is another Phunni podcast, episode 9. I am your host, Big Lee. This is my co-host, Brittany.
I'm Brittany.
Yeah, and this week we have another jam-packed episode for you. Brittany, how have you been the last 2 weeks? Happy Black History Month.
Yes, happy Black History Month. January went by real quick. Like, real quick. I've been busy, man. Getting ready to leave the country in a week. So, on the 13th, they go to Trinidad Carnival, trying to figure out outfits and parties and Juve stuff, and Amazon carts is loaded, stuff coming, stuff going back, because I don't know what I'm wearing, and it's a lot. I've been busy with that. I met up with a wedding client I got for Memorial Day weekend. I'm taking their photos for their wedding. I met up with them today. Worked and busted my ass. So I've been busy. How
long is that flight? How long is that flight to Trinidad?
So I had a nonstop before. It was like 5 hours. It ain't that bad. But this time I'm going through Houston and then coming back. I'm coming back through Panama City, I went through there before. Which is longer because it's like you're going. So when you're coming back from Panama City, Trinidad, for those who don't know, is like 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela, so South America. And you'll go to Panama City, you go across, and then you got to come up. So the flight to come back is a lot longer, but it's not that bad. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm super excited. My boys are playing in the Super Bowl next week, so
yeah, them
I'm
parlays
planning
paid
on.
out.
One did. I didn't win last week, but the week before that I did. But I didn't really lose as much money as I won the week before that, so I guess it's all a win. I just paid $65 for the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. I see it like that. But yeah, super excited about that. Looking forward to going to Philly for the parade again. It'll be my third time seeing my team play in the Super Bowl. Second time going to the parade. If we win, we win. So yeah, looking forward to this weekend, having some fun watching the game, chilling with my mans and stuff. Good time.
Who you going with to the parade?
Me and my brother Pat. We probably pull up. He said maybe his dad might want to go. Shout out to Mr. D,
Okay.
and stuff. But we gonna see what's up first. We gotta get a W, and then we gotta get a room. Last time, it wasn't hard finding a room last time, but it wasn't the best room. I guess you could say that. But we weren't far though. We weren't really far. And we was only there, like, last time we checked in, we woke up the next morning, checked out, went to the parade, and drove right back home. So we wasn't out there long, you feel me? But
Now
it was
you probably don't want to be in Philly long, no way.
Nah, I was just explaining to somebody, I'm about to do like a whole 7-minute set on being a DMV Philly fan versus what it's like being a Philly Eagles fan. Because going to that parade, them niggas are different, bruh. Oh my God. Like, it was different out there. Shout out to Philly Eagles fans though, but they different, man. They built differently out there. But yeah, we got a hell of an episode. Last week's episode was a little slow because there wasn't nothing popping like that, but we got some interesting stuff right now in the news, and it's Black History Month, so we're not going to do nothing special this episode for that. We haven't lined nothing up yet, but we might do maybe like, I don't know, a little game or something next episode.
Now, I
for
might
Black
say there may be like a special, because we've been doing it bi-weekly. You might want to catch me next Sunday before I head out the country because I'm gone for a week and a half. Trinidad Carnival is like the mother of our carnivals. It's like party after party after party leading up to, Carnival Tuesday, and then there's still some more partying. But now I'm coming back Ash Wednesday.
I mean, how you know the people don't want to see Trinidad, man? Take the camera with you and do an episode out there on the beach one time.
Like vlog it.
Yeah, take the camera with you, man.
I might just set that up though, because we got a party that Sunday, which we will fall on. We got a breakfast fete that morning, so it's like 4 a.m. to like 11, and then we don't have nothing planned the rest of the day. But the next morning is Juve. Juve starts at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then you party until dawn, pretty much. So I might could do something like that. Show you the crew, the Trini crew that we travel with, and everybody up in their costumes and stuff. That might be dope.
Yeah. I think the listeners and watchers would love that. They would love that, for real.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking, I was just telling my man that I want to travel for my birthday because I haven't traveled since before COVID, for real.
Yeah.
Not that far though. I want to go to the West Coast, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully in July. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what we starting the show off with?
I feel like it's a lot going on when it comes to some of the, student loans and education requirements and stuff. So we could talk about whichever one you want to start with. I'll let you ride, and then I chime in. So go ahead and pick.
All right. Well, I heard that Pennsylvania was doing away with the 4-year degree requirement for most jobs in their state. I think somebody put forth a bill to pass that. I think that's a good idea. I don't really feel like most jobs nowadays require 4-year degrees, and I feel like most jobs are going to give you some type of on-job training as well to go with that. And I also feel like something has to give. Like, if you're not going to come down with the price of education, then you got to come down with the requirements to get a job. Like, you can't charge people an arm and a leg for education and then make it to where you can't make any money unless you spend all of this money to get the education. So I think what, they are putting forth in Pennsylvania, because it hasn't passed yet, but I think what they're putting forth in Pennsylvania is a good idea. I think that, they should more states should look into this. I'm interested in that. So
I did some research on that topic, and I come to find out I didn't even know the state of Maryland actually had passed a bill that stopped requiring those type of certain, degree requirements for most of their state jobs. And I say most because there's certain state jobs like engineer and stuff that still require like a STEM degree from an accredited type college. But they actually stopped requiring bachelor's degree and other higher education requirements from most of their state jobs back in March of 2022. And then I saw, I believe it was Utah. I mean, I don't know what's going on out in Utah. But Utah followed up. So I think what it is there are a lot of mediocre jobs out there that was requiring degrees to begin with. They sold us a dream. When we was in school, in middle school and high school, it was go to college if you want to get a good paying job. And then every job started requiring a degree of some sort. It could be a job that, I don't want to downplay nobody's job, so I'm not going to give a title, but, they might offer $18 and say, hey, we want a master's degree. Like, what?
Right.
Like, you want me to go to school, take out all these student loans, and then still come out, and can barely pay a month's rent with this after taxes?
To pay. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't even afford to pay back the money that I took out to go to college. You feel me? To get this degree that I needed. But something has to give. Like, something got to give.
Yeah. So I think with that, it makes sense. And then also with today's times, there's so many job vacancies. I think at one point in time, there was damn near almost 2 jobs per person that was actually looking for a job, because there's people that retired, or people just actually not looking for employment. And then with inflation, with built up demand, that's why it was so many jobs openings with after the pandemic. So now they have all these jobs that are open with nobody to fill them. They have all these degree requirements. Now they're like, okay, well, maybe we should get rid of that because nobody wants to go to school. And then you also can do so many different other jobs that are like, blue collar jobs that don't require a degree, some certification, but don't require you to take out a bunch of of student loan debt. So I do think it's a good thing. However, I can see that these jobs that once required degrees would probably cut their salary offerings. I just see that happening. Like, hey, we'll accept you without a degree, but we also not going to pay y'all as much as we were offering, when we required a degree. So that's,
I can see that happening. I can see that happening. Yeah. I was going to say something. Something related to the money aspect of it, but I forgot now.
Good.
You had an update on the loan situation, though, right?
Yeah. So, and I guess it goes hand in hand. A lot of people took out student loans. I took out a bunch of student loans, and
me too.
I think we all did. But for me, I do, from my perspective, I feel like it worked out for me. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I also think I was fortunate. Like, I don't even think, sometimes I think it's luck for me to be in a position that I'm in, the job that I'm in, because I do not think my job that I have, requires a degree per se. But there's some, you got stupid people with degrees either, so just because they have a degree don't mean they're actually educated.
Right.
They can do something. But I do have some, knowledge that I wanted to share that I thought was important on the update for student loans. Because right before the election, the Biden administration, they did roll out, cancellation of student loan debt up to $20,000 if you were a Pell Grant recipient. And then that was put on pause due to some blocking relief. So 2 federal courts end up blocking the relief. The Supreme Court has agreed to consider the appeals from the Biden administration. They have a hearing that's scheduled this month, the end of this month, February 28th, and then a decision is expected by June. Fingers crossed, because I'm looking for some money.
I think we all are.
Even though for me, I still feel like it's a drop in the bucket, but it's to help, somewhere. And I think there's so many other different things that even if you didn't even forgive loans, there's so many other things that they can do, and they actually are talking about it. So one of the things, the Biden administration, they're in the process of launching a new IDR, income-driven repayment plan. So they want to, I'm sorry, let me back up. So it's not a new one. So they talked about releasing a new one, but what they're going to do is they're going to adjust the previous pay-as-you-earn plan. It's going to include Parent Plus loans. So previously, if you had a Parent Plus loan, those loans weren't included in any of the income-driven repayment plans. So it's going to include that as well. They're also proposing that they would increase the amount of income that's protected from repayment. So right now, how they base it on income payment is based on 150% of the poverty, the national poverty guidelines. And that's like 30-something thousand, and that's across the board. They don't take into consideration nothing else. They don't take into consideration cost of living in your state where you live. Like, it's literally across the board for all 48 continental states. So they want to increase that to 225%, and then anything you earn above that will be taken into consideration for your repayment plan. They want to lower the amount of discretionary income, which is above that 225%. Discretionary income, on average, is about 10%, depending on the repayment plan you're in. Some of them are 15%. A majority of them are 10%. So they want to cut that in half by 5%. That will save me a ton of money on paying back loans. And then they also want to stop unpaid interest accumulation and some other things that they're proposing. They're working to have all these things put into place by the June timeline. So if, let's say, the Supreme Court hears this decision and they rule before that, then I believe payments for student loans is supposed to start 30 to 45 days after that, but no later than June. So they want to have a lot of these things in place that once we start repayments, it ain't kicking our ass again. And I know there's some people that feel some type of way about all these changes, and it's, you borrowed the money, you should pay it back. But I do think a lot of the loans and stuff were predatory. Like, do you remember reading about your promissory note? in signing your student loans when you were 18 years old?
I remember signing them, but my thing is, my issue with that is, like, I don't understand how you could allow an 18-year-old to sign for that much money in student loans, but yet you won't let an 18-year-old go from high school to the NBA or from high school to the NFL or these different sports. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the lack of consistency with what people can do and how, or even I'll give you one even better. I can sign for these student loans, but yet you can have these fucking military recruiters in high schools and shit. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me where the line is here with these high schoolers. Like, you can have military recruiters, but you can't have NBA recruiters at high schools or whatever. It's real. The line is real gray with me and what is allowed with high schoolers and not allowed. And it's real weird to me that they allow certain things like signing for thousands and thousands of dollars in student loans, not knowing if this person will finish school or whatever, or not knowing how this person's going to be able to pay back that money. It's weird to me.
Yeah, because I can tell you when I got my student loans, I remember the master promissory note, and it was a master. So you signed it one time, you didn't have to sign it again. So all the years I was in school, I didn't have to sign another one. I was just accepting the loans, getting my little, refund checks. But like everybody was. But I would say my mindset, I was like, Brittany, you got to finish, and you got to do a good job because you got to pay back all these loans. Somehow, some way, you got to make something shake. Some people, unfortunately did not finish. And then even if they finished, they still couldn't even get a decent job that would even require them to pay back some of these student loans, especially if you went to like a private school or if you went to out of state. And I had, Pell Grants and stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough to cover, tuition and on-campus housing and meal plans. It's a lot.
And there's so much of that stuff that you didn't really need. Like, I didn't really need, if like you could have gave me the money for the meal plan and I could have made my own food like I'm living right now on my own, making my own.
You know how many meals that we did not eat that we probably skipped out on and the school was just getting it?
Bro, I was giving my meal card to people that weren't enrolled there, like, you know who. I'm not gonna say name, I'm not gonna name drop you feel me? Like, I was like, here, bro, take it. I'm not eating this. I'm not gonna go for 3 times a day, bro. I got class too. You feel me?
No one's going that many times a day.
But yeah, man, it's so much stuff. The housing it's outrageous fees for housing, and the housing isn't even worth it. Like, no way my freshman dorm was worth it. But yeah.
I just hope something shake out for me. Because I tell you what, I am nervous about when my student loans start back up. I'm nervous. Because I had asked them, like, if I don't qualify for income-driven repayment plans, what's my payment going to look like? And she told me, and I said, well, can you send me that paper in the mail so I can see it? Just so I know y'all don't switch up. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Yeah. And it's also been so long that since people have been paying on them, like, people kind of got used to not paying it. That's a whole nother bill that people got to factor in. Yeah. On top of the bills that we already got, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And with inflation costs of everything else, it's not like it was, 2 years ago. Inflation is hell. Eggs is $8-9 right now. I mean, sometimes you can't even find them. So I really think that's why the Biden administration is pushing for it, because it is like, well, they're trying to end the COVID emergency laws or whatever they put in place by April or March, April, something time frame. So whatever COVID relief restrictions we've had, all those will be probably lifted once that's done. There will be no more, let's kick the can down the road for student loan, pauses, because they can't use the COVID, relief as like a crutch for a reason to pause it. So we're going to be paying something back, but I hope they do look out and do something else. And then even the other thing I want to touch on, I don't mean to drag this out a little bit longer, but the public student loan forgiveness, plan, you work for a federal government, nonprofit, state government, teacher, something like that. You do 120 payments and the rest of it is forgiven. Yes, these payments have been counting towards the public student loan forgiveness if you can actually be considered in that program while we've been on unpaid relief. But I feel like give me something in the meantime, like after a year, remove something, after 2 years remove something, because even with that, just having that large loan amount on your credit, or just on your debt to income ratio, your net worth, all that definitely affects people from moving on in their life. Could affect how purchase of houses and other things like that. So it's just bigger than just pay your student loans back. So that's all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I went a little long on that.
No, that's cool. Because like I said, we do have this. It's been a lot this week. It's been a lot the last 2 weeks. This is this main topic. The next topic, our main one of the day, I suppose, or at least it's been the main topic that's been in the news the last couple of weeks. January 7th, 29-year-old Tyree Nichols was stopped by Memphis police for alleged reckless driving. Officials say Nichols initially ran but was quickly apprehended. Nichols' lawyers denies that he ever ran, and said he only ran after officers began assaulting him. Later in the body cam video, you can see several officers holding Nichols down while others kicked and punched him. After 3 minutes of assaulting Nichols, the officers can be seen stepping away, eventually dragging him into the street and leaning him against the car where he appeared to be handcuffed. Nichols lay slumped next to the car for about 20 minutes before officers first attempt to render him aid. After the altercation, Nichols complained of having a shortness of breath, so he was transported to a local hospital where he died 3 days later. On January 18th, Kevin G. Ritz, the United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, announced that the FBI and the DOJ would be investigating the incident. January 20th, Memphis police announced that it had fired 5 officers following an investigation into Nichols' death. They identified the officers as Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith. They all were black men. The same week, Memphis Fire Department officials announced that 2 employees involved in the initial patient care had been relieved and are being investigated for their role into the incident. On January 26, a grand jury indicted the 5 officers that was involved in Nichols' death and charged them with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravating kidnapping resulting in bodily injury, aggravating kidnapping involving a weapon, official misconduct through unauthorized excessive use of power, official misconduct through failure to act when there is a duty imposed by law, and official oppression. An independent autopsy shows Nichols died from extensive bleeding caused by severe beating. January 30th, officials announced 2 more officers, Preston Hemphill and another unnamed officer, had been relieved of their duty. Those officers also were later charged. Hemphill allegedly deployed his taser on Nichols. You can hear him in the video saying that I hope they stomp his ass. It was wild as shit. EMTs Robert Long and Jamichael Soundridge, who initially assessed Nichols at the scene, have been fired for failing to conduct an adequate assessment. This video has been out all over the internet. I have chose not to watch the video. I don't want to see the video. I'm tired of seeing videos like this. It's unfortunate that our people have to look at these videos as much as we do, but this is the world that we live in. Did you see the video, Brittany? If not, how do you feel about what happened? Prayers up to Nichols and his family. Sending condolences out that way.
Most definitely, my condolences to him and his family. I did see parts of the video, so I'm like you, where a lot of times when these videos come out, I normally don't watch them because it's just kind of like trauma to me, I feel like, it's not once you've seen one, you've seen them all for me, but it's just like, I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want that, in my mind or my heart. But my husband, he watches everything. And it so happened he was looking on his phone and he's like, babe, look at this, look at this, look at this. And I'm just like kind of trying to tune him out. So I watched pieces and clips of it. Where I could see them dragging him and beating him, or cop just running up and just kicking him, and then you could hear him yelling out for his mom while he was trying to get away. And I kept telling my husband, all right, I'm done. But he has a thing where he is like obsessed with watching it and then gets angry. And that's why I'm like, why are you watching these videos? Because all they do is make you angry all the time. Like, and it can be anything, just with, cops and the brutality. But I saw it, and it is just terrible. I've never seen nothing like that in my life, and I've never even seen like I've seen clips like the Rodney King beating, but not the whole thing, and I don't even know if it was like a really long one, but I don't even understand this one. It's not even. It's hard for me to talk about it because it's like I'm speechless. Like, what do you say in this situation?
Yeah, it's really nothing to say in this situation. Besides, I hope that these officers get convicted of what they are charged with.
How do you
it's
do
an
that
unfortunate
and then
situation.
go home and to your family? Like, it's wild.
Yeah, I heard he was a dad. Nichols was a dad too. He was like right down the street from his mom's house. It's a crazy situation, man. And as you can see, it's not a race thing. It's a police thing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's like if the way that police are trained in this country, the fact that police feel like they can get away with things like this in this country, because all these officers have body cams on them. All of these videos, all of their body cams was on, so we have video of all of this, and they still did what they did. So obviously they did it because they thought that they were going to get away with it. It's not. Yeah. It's really a police thing, man. It don't this part. Race may amplify the situation, but at the end of the day, America has a police issue. We spend a lot of money on policing in this country, and yet we still have some of the highest crime in the world here. So I don't know if spending all the money on the police is doing anything on the police budget. And, we also get promised these deals like we got promised with Biden and the George Floyd police and that. And we never got that, which I don't know if that would have helped the situation or not. But something has to happen. Something has to change because can't keep seeing the police kill black people or kill people on TV, man.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing, like we feel like, if black people just assimilate themselves into these type of organizations, then we'll look out for one another. But that's not the case. It's just kind of like you going into any old office and you're thinking, I'm going here, I'm going to be unapologetically black, and I'm going to, do the things, that our community needs and look out for us. It's kind of what we were talking about 2 weeks ago when we were discussing like a lot of, political figures and stuff like that that are black and how they help out our communities or whatnot if they do. I feel like the culture was never built, to protect us. They weren't protecting us. I mean, when you think about the history of police and where it actually came from and who it was to protect then, they were protecting slave owners and bringing back runaway slaves. So it never was built. Yeah, it was never built to protect us, per se. And then you have us go in there and we just fall right in line with the culture. And we, look at us the same way that they look at us. We treat us the same way that they treat us. So we like to say, it's a race thing, but our own are doing it to us within our own communities. So it's just, but put the ass underneath the jail.
For sure. And that's what's going to happen too because they're black. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, black or white. Either way, they deserve to go under the jail. You have abused your power. You were in a position of power where people look up to you. You're supposed to be here to protect and serve people, and you are murdering people, violently murdering people. So yeah, you got to get what's coming to you, and I hope that they do. On a different, a polar opposite side of black people wilding out. I hate to say it, but I had one of my favorite ex-players. He stepped a little bit out of line to me. You got the clip?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just let the people hear and let them decide.
Let's share the clip for you real quick.
Out here walking with the football team, picking up trash. And I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man. I should leave. I'm not even under contract doing this. I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man. They mutt me. These motherfuckers ain't even clean my goddamn office when I got here. I'm mutt y'all. Get your ass, man. Come on, man. All this shit here was trash in front of me. Who you think got this shit cleared out? That building right there got trash in it. It's fucking trash. What are you talking about? Need no goddamn donors to come out and help out, because people just want money. That's why I don't fuck with social networks. Now I'm out here.
Alright, that was former Ravens safety Ed Reed. He was in line to get the football head coach job at Bethune-Cookman University. And that was a video that he posted to his social media about the campus, I guess. He's alleging that him and some players had to clean up some trash that was on the ground. He said that he didn't get his office cleaned out. And other things in the video. First of all, Brittany, we both went to HBCUs. You graduated from one. What you think about
the illustrious Morgan State University? Hold on.
It is.
But hold on. There she is. That's just the
there it is.
Yeah, that's just the little one.
I was about to say, I'm happy you got it up, because I don't think you had that joint up when I was over there.
Oh yeah, the book show wasn't together. See, look, you trying to put me out there. The book show was not together. Yeah. Look, he should have got on social media and did all that. I just feel like you don't air out our dirty laundry in the streets like that. That's all. I understand. I understand his frustration. I did do some research. There's been a lot that came out about other HBCUs. Bethune-Cookman, some of the students are starting to speak out because of that situation and things been in the limelight. But I do feel like he could have went about it a different way. That was very, very unprofessional. And I get his point though. That he's used to different circumstances. So when he came in, he was probably not expecting to clean out his desk, not expecting to have to clean up and pick things and make the campus, beautify the campus and make it look nice and all this other kind of stuff. Probably because of press. To be honest, they knew people would be coming and looking, hey, we got Ed Reed coming in, people would want to come and see. I also know that they were clearing out an area for practice fields, so they were doing some things to try to improve the campus grounds. But he definitely could have went about it another way. That was terrible.
Yeah, I feel like Ed was completely out of pocket there. I feel like he was completely out of pocket with that one. You know how they say certain things, you got to keep certain things in the house. What happened in my house, stay in my house. Mm-hmm. That's what we got to go by there. And also, white campuses don't have it all going on either. You remember the situation with Penn State and everything else. So it's you don't see them out here airing their dirty laundry like that. So I don't think we need to be doing it like that. At the end of the day, Bethune-Cookman decided not to hire Ed Reed. They decided to go another route with the head coaching job. And now you have some students protesting and everything. Mm-hmm. They're upset. But they also said that they were dealing with things with recovery because of the hurricanes or something that they had down there in Florida.
Yeah, they were actually talking about there was mold infestation and stuff in certain places that they were now speaking out on because the whole Ed Reed situation brought a lot of things to light. So they feel like, now that video went viral and it brought kind of the conditions of the campus to light, then we need to speak out on some of the other things that we see in our campus that we need fix. And Bethune-Cookman has now taken action, of course, because now everything has kind of been brought to the limelight to correct some of those issues. But yeah, that was one of the things that they had talked about. So Bethune-Cookman is in I believe it's it Daytona Beach. I feel like I want to say that's where the location is of Bethune-Cookman. Don't quote me. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. They did decide to go another way. Ed Reed actually said he wanted to stay. He did come out. He apologized. He said he was unprofessional. He could have went about it in a different way. He said he wanted to stay, but it was the administration that ultimately went a different direction. I think they went a different direction because it was like, oh, he's just going to speak his mind. We don't want nobody that's just going to tell the truth and, not try to butter it up. Because they could have kind of worked something out with him. But yeah, he wasn't under the contract when he actually made that video. But he was also helping and doing other things before too. So I think they could have worked it out. But yeah, they went a different way. I hope it works out for Bethune.
Yeah, I hope it works out for both. I don't know if that could have been fixed. I don't think you could go that hard and then come back and work for the school. But I hope Ed does get another job coaching somewhere, and I hope that Bethune-Cookman also finds their head coach somewhere.
You think he would stick with HBCU, or do you think after the whole Dion situation that he might not even consider HBCU?
I hope he does, because I think we need people like Ed Reed and Dion to bring attention to these HBCUs. Like believe it or not, Dion did a lot for Jackson State. I saw them on College Game Day for the first time when turned on ESPN and they was at Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? So he did a lot. And these players like Ed Reed and Deion Sanders, they got connections, whether it be with Nike or other players to come coach or help train in players or whatever. Or other former players, you know what I'm saying, to come coach or help train players or whatever, or just being a role model to these younger guys. I hope he does find another HBCU that he can get into, man. I really do.
Yeah, and the condition of one HBCU does not represent all other HBCUs. I feel like there is so many other HBCUs. Definitely, I mean, if you look at the top 10, of course, if you look at top 5, they're always going to be like Spelman, Morehouse, Howard. But even in the top 10, there's so many other schools that they can choose from where those conditions might not be in place. So you got to look at the ones that are kind of the low-hanging fruit, I would say, and why they are in those situations. They already lack funding. They already lack staff and support and resources. So just to kind of come in and talk down and trash them, it's like you're kicking them while they're already down.
Right. And what do you?
That doesn't mean that all HBCUs are like that.
Right. And I thought you was, here to help the situation. Like, you're supposed to come in and help. That's what I thought. But I don't know. Ed Reed, you still my man though. I hope you get another job, and I hope you do stick with the HBCUs. I hope it seemed like he was really passionate about working with some of those kids out there. So I hope he, gets to do that eventually.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap it up on that. Anything else you want to plug? Don't forget to follow us, like, share, and subscribe. I'm at Big Lee with 3 underscores at the end on all social medias. Brittany, plug yourself.
I am Itty Bitty Britty on Instagram and Twitter. And then also my photography page is BSD Imagery. Same across platforms.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Y'all send us questions to our DMs. We will answer them and shout y'all out on the podcast because that's what we do. Mm-hmm. Until next time, y'all.
I see y'all in Trinidad.